Chapter 1. The Strange Dream. I will never forget the night my cousin Ebuka had the dream that changed his life. It started like any other humid night in our village, Umunachi. The crickets were singing and the smell of palm oil stew drifted in from Mama Ifeoma's kitchen. Ebuka had just returned from the city, broke and tired, with nothing but a small bag, 2 shirts, and a battered Nokia phone. He slept in the spare room at the back of our compound. That night he went to bed with an empty stomach and a heavy heart. What happened next still baffles all of us. In the dream, he stood alone in a vast forest. The trees were taller than any he had seen before. The air smelled sweet, like ripe fruit. In front of him was an old tree with twisted roots and glowing leaves. Beneath the tree were 3 kola nuts, red, brown, and white. A voice echoed in the wind. Pick the red one to rise, pick the white one to serve, pick the brown one to die in gold. Confused, he reached for the red kola nut, and the tree suddenly opened up to reveal a golden river of palm oil flowing through its trunk. Then he woke up, sweating, wide-eyed, and certain of one thing. He was meant to start something. Chapter 2. A village full of laughter, a boy full of shame. When Ebuka came back to the village, people whispered. Not because they hated him, but because they were disappointed. How can a university graduate return with only nylon bag and hope? City boy came back to fetch firewood, ain't? He had once been the pride of our compound, the first of his siblings to finish school, the one with potential. But after years of chasing office jobs in Port Harcourt, he had nothing. His mother, Auntie Ngozi, cried quietly at night. His father, Uncle Dominic, hardly spoke anymore. But Ebuka kept smiling. That's one thing about him. Life would slap him and he would still grin like he just ate suya. After the dream, he changed. He woke up, sat on the veranda all morning staring into space. Then he walked to our backyard, stood beside the only palm tree we had and said, "This is it." "This is what?" I asked. He turned to me, eyes bright. "We're going to start a palm oil business." Chapter 3. The Mockery Begins. You should have seen the look on my uncle's face when Ebuka announced his plan at dinner. "You want to sell palm oil?" "Yes, Papa." "With what money?" "God will provide." Even I laughed. Not because I didn't believe in Ebuka, but because I knew how rough things were. We could barely afford kerosene. We were surviving on Mama Ngozi's pepper soup business and the small farm behind our house. The village youth mocked him. From computer science to red oil, maybe he should fry a kara next. But Ebuka didn't mind. He woke up early every day and started writing in a small green notebook he called The Dream Plan. On the cover, he wrote, "Palm oil is red gold. Watch me." Chapter 4. The First Step and First Failure. Ebuka's first plan was simple. Go from house to house, buy small quantities of palm oil from villagers, and resell them in larger jerry cans to people in the next town. He borrowed 5,000 nairos from his mother. It was all she had saved from a year's worth of market profit. With it, he bought 2 small yellow kegs of palm oil, cleaned them himself, and arranged them like treasure. But the transport guy he paid to carry them to Ogidi never showed up. He waited from morning till evening at the bus stop. That 1,200 naira transport fee? Gone. The oil? Still sitting in the sun. He returned home, dust in his hair and shame on his face. Chapter 5. The tree appears again. That night, the dream came back. This time, the strange tree in the forest was weeping sap. The same voice whispered, "Red flows when the root is deep. Do not sell it, grow it." Ebuka woke up and stared at our small backyard. The next day, he walked to the neighboring community and met an old palm farmer named Papa Aluta. Chapter 6. Learning from the old ways. Papa Aluta was 76 years old and had been tapping palm kernels since before Nigeria had independence. At first, he laughed when Ebuka said he wanted to learn. "You want to press palm oil with this your soft Port Harcourt fingers?" Ebuka smiled. "Teach me, sir." And he did. For the next 3 months, Ebuka became his apprentice. He learned how to climb, how to harvest, how to roast and press palm kernels using hot stones and manual screw pressers. He learned how to tell the best nuts by smell alone. By December, his hands were no longer soft. His skin was burnt, and his shoulders had grown wider. But he also learned something more valuable: connection. Through Papa Aluta, he met 4 other aging farmers who had land but no strength. They offered to lease the land if Ebuka could maintain it. Chapter 7. The red flow begins. Ebuka leased 3 small plots. With the help of my brothers and I, he cleared the bush, planted new palms and revived the old ones. The work was hard. We used cutlasses, hoes, and our bare hands. There were days we got stung by bees. One day a snake chased Uchenna into the river. But the dream kept pushing Ebuka. "We are planting our future," he said. By the next planting season, the trees began to produce, slowly, then faster, then a little more. He pressed his first real batch of oil himself and sold it to a buyer in Onitsha for 45,000 nairas. The red gold had started to flow. Chapter 8. Turning oil into opportunity. With that first sale, Ebuka reinvested everything. No flashy clothes, no phone upgrades. He bought better drums, a manual presser, and hired 2 village boys to help. He created a simple label, Uminachi Red Gold, pure village oil. He sold directly to women in the market, offering 100% natural, thick red palm oil at competitive prices. They loved it. He started packaging the oil in 1-liter, 5-liter, and 20-liter containers. Then he opened a Facebook page. People laughed again. Who buys palm oil on Facebook? But in 3 months, a wholesaler from Abuja placed an order for 300 liters. Chapter 9. The radio interview. One sunny afternoon, a local radio station in Akka invited Ebuka to speak. He wore his best brown native, shined his black shoes with oil, and entered the studio with nothing but his story. He spoke for 15 minutes, about the dream, about palm trees, about young people returning to the soil. The next day he got 47 calls. The day after that, 112. Orders began flying in. He couldn't keep up. He registered his business as Dream Roots Ventures. By year 2, he had 5 employees and a branded tricycle. Chapter 10. The dream comes full circle. 3 years later, Ebuka bought the very land we used to walk past as children, the one we used to call for rich people. He built a small house for his parents. He built a modest office beside the palm press. He never stopped dreaming. When I asked him, "Do you still have the dream?" he said, "Every time I hold a kola nut, I remember." I smiled, because we all saw it now. The red kola nut, the tree, the voice. It wasn't madness, it was purpose. Chapter 11. Trouble in the soil. Just when things seemed to be going well, disaster struck. A strange fungus attacked the younger palm trees. The leaves turned yellow, the kernels dried up before they could ripen. In 1 week, Ebuka lost almost 60% of that season's harvest. Everyone panicked. "Maybe you angered the gods," one farmer said. "This is why you need spiritual backup," another warned. But Ebuka didn't give up. He called agricultural experts from Enugu. He borrowed money, bought new seedlings, treated the soil, and installed better drainage. "Farming is not just tradition," he said. "It's science too." Chapter 12. The Call from Lagos. One morning, while drinking pap in the backyard, Ebuka's phone rang. "Hello, this is Ngozi from a Lagos supermarket chain. We saw your oil online. Are you open to retail distribution?" Ebuka nearly choked on his pap. That call turned into a meeting. That meeting turned into a contract. Within 4 months, Dream Roots palm oil was on shelves in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Asaba. He didn't just sell red oil. He told his story on the label. Inspired by a dream, Made in Umunnachi. Pure, local, honest. Chapter 13. From tricycle to truck. The tricycle became a truck, then 2 trucks, then a small warehouse with 7 staff members. He hired women from the village to help process, filter, and package the oil. He also paid school fees for their children. Mama Ngozi became the manager. She no longer sold pepper soup at the market. Now she wore ankara and kept receipts. Uncle Dominic still said little, but he smiled more often. That was enough. Chapter 14. When the bank came knocking. One hot Monday, representatives from a major Nigerian bank visited. They had seen Ebuka's story online. "We would like to offer you a business loan at reduced interest. Your brand has strong rural value." Ebuka sipped water, thought carefully, and smiled. "No, thank you." Everyone gasped. Later he told me, "I'd rather grow slowly than be chained by loans. My roots are deep." Chapter 15. The Dream Fund. He launched an idea called the Dream Fund, a small grant system for young farmers. He gave 50,000 naira each to 10 youths in surrounding villages, on one condition. They must show him their business plan and attend a 3-day training he organized at the town hall. Some laughed. But 1 year later, 4 of those youths had their own mini oil businesses. One girl, Amara, even started exporting palm oil to Ghana. Ebuka had become a mentor. Chapter 16. Enemies in the shadows. With success comes envy. One day, someone set fire to the edge of his farmland. The fire was put out quickly, but it was a warning. "People want what they don't understand," Papa Aluta warned. Ebuka took no revenge. Instead, he built a wire fence around his land and started security training for his staff. But he also said something I'll never forget. "You can protect your body with walls, but you protect your future with wisdom." Chapter 17. Return of the dream years had passed since the last dream. But one rainy night, it returned. Ebuka was in a bigger forest now. The same tree stood tall, but now it had fruits like fireballs. The voice returned, "You have tasted oil. Now plant trees for others." The next morning, Ebuka announced his next plan, the Red Gold Academy. Chapter 18. The Red Gold Academy. He converted one of the old warehouses into a learning center. Here, young farmers learned how to start small, harvest ethically, market their products, and even brand them. Ebuka brought speakers from different parts of the country, and always, on day 1, he would tell his story, from the kola nut dream to the fire to the trucks. By now, he had been featured in Punch, Channels TV, and even on a BBC Africa segment titled, "The Boy Who Dreamed of Palm Trees." Chapter 19. Billionaire Status 1. Dry Harmattan morning, Ebuka showed me his new bank app interface. I saw the figure and my jaw dropped. 9 zeros. He was worth over 1.2 billion naira. He chuckled. "Don't tell anybody. Let's still walk to the farm." He still lived in the village, still wore his rubber sandals, still played Ayo with Papa Aluta under the mango tree. But now he owned over 200 hectares of palm trees in 3 states. He had partnered with other farmers to build a new eco-processing plant. He wasn't just rich, he was rooted. Chapter 20. The Final Dream. On the 10th anniversary of Dream Roots, Ebuka planted 3 kola nut trees behind his house. 1 red, 1 white, 1 brown. He said, "I still don't know what the brown one meant." Then he smiled. "But I'm still alive, so maybe I'm not meant to know yet." We laughed. That night, as we sat under the stars eating roasted yam, he looked up at the sky and said quietly, "The dream never ends. It just grows new branches." And that, my friends, is how my cousin went from a jobless returnee to a billionaire because of a dream involving kola nuts and 1 strange tree. Do you believe a dream can change your life? Like, subscribe. Share your thoughts below.